Home cooking. It had been a long time since Iowa Western had enjoyed some of that home cooking. In fact, nearly a month. But Saturday, they got the chance to return home and taste what it was all about. Would they win and get that victory, or would they lose and have that sour taste in their mouth? We'll find out about that and more. Iowa Western, Ellsworth, the highlights and more coming up on the Coach Stroh Show here on the Reaver Sports Network and CBTV 17. This week, the Stroh Show coming to you from the Hall of Fame room on the campus of Iowa Western Community College in Council Bluffs. Jake Ryan, along with the head coach of the Iowa Western football team, it is Scott Strohmeyer. And Saturday, finally, the Reavers back at home. It had been nearly a month since you popped into Titan Stadium and saw the fixtures. And they put something new up for you as you walk in, a brand new national championship banner. What was it like finally getting to sleep in your own bed the night before a game, Coach?
It was a lot more refreshing, I'll tell you that much. And it was even better after the game when I got to go home in about 10 minutes rather than an 18-hour bus ride. But it was, like I said, it was good to be home in front of our own fans too as well. It was a good atmosphere. It
was homecoming on Saturday. Let's check a look at those highlights and find out exactly how the game played out with Ellsworth and Iowa Western. Nice, beautiful, sunny day. A little bit of a nip in the air and a little bit breezy. But you guys, what happened here, Coach? You won the toss and deferred. What was going on there?
Doesn't happen too often. I think we've only done that maybe twice in our time, probably the last 3 years.
I thought for sure Kyle Christians was talking gibberish when he told us that you had deferred.
No, we want to, and with them being a little bit depleted, want to kind of set the tone, get a stop, play the win with the game a little bit.
Yeah, you do get a stop, a blocked punt on the first drive, and then you go to work. Here is Connor Brevard. He'll throw down the field, and a strike to the sideline to Bryant Johnson.
Yeah, you know, and we knew what they'd come out and play some cover zero and play man coverage on everybody and bring some pressure that we could max protect and get one-on-one.
Brevard rolling out, strike to the end zone. Geronimo Allison puts you up 6-0 pretty quick in this ball game.
Well, it was nice. We got the the block punt, the short field. We played on a short field early, but it was good to get a score there.
Ellsworth depleted, to say the least. They came in with 49 the last time you played them. This time 42, and this time around, well, they just couldn't get it going. Finally, you get the ball back, and Akis Teague going to work.
Yeah, it was a big fourth down stop. They went forward, fourth and short on our side of the field. We got to stop, and now we got another short field to get in, and Akis has a nice run here to put us up 14.
Yeah, didn't even hit that high gear as he turned that corner. Once he got around the corner, he saw the block and just kind of coasted into the end zone.
Yeah, they did it. Our guys up front did a heck of a job again this week of getting a hat on a hat and making the running backs letting them run.
Dan Henry with the interception. Again, there's still only about 6 minutes into the ball game, and Akis Teague going to work yet again. Only needed 56 yards coming into the game to cross that 1,000-yard mark, and he did it in here in the first quarter.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, like I said, they were a little bit depleted, and you want to put, you're down 21 before you can really snap your fingers in that game. It was pretty much over from there.
Teague over the 1,000-yard mark. Ellsworth going ahead and trying a little bit of trickery, I guess you could say that was. A little high snap there, and they just couldn't get it going. Finally, a punt away, and D.A. Williams will take it deep in Reaver territory.
Yeah, and teams are going to try to do that. Generally, when you struggle to get anything going, you're going to try some of that trickery stuff, and they did in the first couple drives and get a nice return and get the ball back.
The Reavers continue leading big here so far, 21-0 in the first quarter, and again, still 7 minutes to go, and you really could have pounded them in this first quarter, but kind of looked like you let up on the reins just a tiny bit in that first quarter.
Yeah, we did, and like I said, very rarely have we ever done that. I wouldn't say that we took it off the pedal yet, but we felt we could run just about anything.
Throw into the end zone. Connor intercepted there, hung it up a little bit, but on the very next play from the 1 yard line, a safety, and then the free kick results in another Reaver possession, 23-zip, and why not get down the sideline, little horse collar tackle there to end that play.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we played on our side of the field, or I guess Ellsworth's side, quite a bit, in that first quarter there.
Yeah, it was a big surprise when they got a first down. That was it right there. 26-0 after a Danny Hamilton field goal. Ellsworth continuing to drive here in the second quarter. And again, just couldn't get anything done. They finally resorted to bringing a defensive end in as the running back in that game.
Yeah, well, I guess when you have to make some. Our defense played extremely well. We dominated them up front on both sides of the ball, and when you do that, you're gonna win a lot of games.
Yeah, they turn the corner, and then Reavers swarming under. They rule them down at the 16-yard line there. Actually, they rule the Reavers grabbing the fumble there, and here's a quick pass. George Seal, one of his 2 touchdowns on the day.
Yeah, Tay came in and a little play-action pass and went through his progression well, and George he's had a few catches on that play this year, and he finally gets one into the end zone.
Oscar Ross and their backup trying to do things. Here you go, you got a defensive offside, and Tay going for the money shot, and all the way down the field, great spiraling pass and a good reception down there.
Yeah, well, the whole point of that is to give ourselves an opportunity, to make a play, and he does. And George makes a nice play as well.
And here's another nice play from George, and you get that second camera angle with him rolling into the end zone. Your team celebrates. First time they had worn all blues, I believe, correct?
Yeah, it was. It was homecoming, all blues, and on that last drive, we had drove down to score, but we had 135 yards of offense on that drive. Now taking penalties, a lot of penalties.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that stat after the game. You had more penalty yards than they had total yards.
So that's not a stat that I guess it's good if you don't have a lot of penalties, but
sure.
We had over 100. We got to shore that up, but at the same time, that's a good thing for our defense holding them under 100.
Well, they get a touchdown pass at the end of the first half to Corey O'Mealy, who's also their starting cornerback. So guys playing two ways in the ball, and you knew that you had to be wearing them out at halftime, didn't you?
I did, and really, right before the half, we even, we get a long run, and then the second one, the clock, there was only 19 or whatever seconds to go, and we had to snap one more. But our guys wanted to keep going. I kind of pulled them off a little bit. Let's just get out of here. Let's get into the half and go, and knowing that they were so depleted that we were going to wear them down even more in the second half.
40-6 at the break, and the Reavers still had 30 minutes of football to play. What would happen with Ellsworth? Would cooler heads prevail, or would the Reavers throttle the Panthers continuously in that second half? We'll take a look at that and more when the Stroh Show continues here on CBTV 17.
Jack Frost, you do have beautiful teeth.
My what?
Are they really as white as they say? Yes. Oh, they really do sparkle like freshly fallen snow. This is an excellent example of what teeth should look like. Check out the iridescence of that incisor, the beauty of that bicuspid, the magnificence of those molars. And the best way to achieve such terrific teeth is brushing. 2 minutes, twice a day. Not 30 seconds, not a minute 45. 2 minutes. That's all it takes. They're beautiful.
Well, a bucket load of points in the first half. It's not something that has become, it's something we've taken for granted over the last couple of seasons with Reaver football, and they lead 40-6 at the halftime break. Coach, you talked about going in and just getting out of it. What did you talk with the team about at halftime?
Well, one, I wanted them to finish the next 30 off. I felt a little bit disappointed with some of the penalties. Not necessarily were they all, maybe great calls, but at the end of the day, sometimes you got to change a little bit with how a crew is calling the game. And but I wanted them to finish. I told them we're going to get everybody in, and I want everybody to stay supportive of each other. All these guys who get an opportunity, they have to practice every day, don't get to play on Saturdays. So we got a bunch of people in. I told the starters you're going to go 1, maybe 2 series, and then you're out for the rest of the day.
Well, that enthusiasm did continue in the second half. Let's look at those second half highlights between Iowa Western and the Ellsworth Panthers. Again, 40-6. Reavers will be on the defensive to start this second half after a field goal in their opening drive, I guess we should say. And Ellsworth trying to get some stuff going. They go over the top here, and it's kicked around. And how about that? A completion off a deflection from their player, 2 of your players, and then they stalled out after that one. But you look at the way their offense was going, they needed a little bit of luck to get first downs.
Yeah, and that sometimes happens when you start throwing it up and basically in desperation, and that's how they got that first down.
Connor Brevard started the second half at quarterback. They throw to the sideline. Wide open down that sideline is Tyler Lloyd, first reception as a Reaver, and the first touchdown as a Reaver, obviously, in the process. So good catch there by Tyler. Had to be good for him to get on the board in that way.
It was, and it was good on Connor of recognizing it. We had a little play-action pass. That's his hot guy. They blitzed the corner, and he threw it. Tyler had obviously made a nice catch-up move, and it was good to get some of these guys their first TDs as Reaver.
Here's D.A. Williams scooping it up at the 50, and he gets a nifty little return back inside their 30-yard line. Look at what happened. You got this 30, then the 40, then to 50, and you bring in Danny Hamilton in and using his leg 4 of 5 as it ended up on the day. Talk about a little bit about his kicking on the day.
Well, he kicked, like I said, you got your 4 of 5. His one miss was a 48-yarder.
Into the wind.
Into the wind that he tried hitting it too hard, but did a really nice job. And it's nice when you can see you can come out of those places with points.
A lot of lateral running for Ellsworth and a lot of Reavers catching up with them before they can turn the corner, as you can see from these highlights. And here the Reavers into the backfield. I know Landon Schultz had a big day. Dejon Starr, Trevon Young, all that front line really did a number on that Ellsworth offense.
They did. Like I said, I felt that we could dominate their front five. And they did. Our guys did. And there was a lot of tackles for loss.
Finally seeing Antoine Gilbert back in. He's seeing some action for the first time in a couple weeks. Good to see him running hard at the running back position.
It was. It was really good. We know what type of athlete he is, and to get him over 100. I think Austin went over 100, and Keith was just maybe right under that. That's a pretty good day on the ground.
They had a little bit of a tough time handling some kicks, but here they rip off a pretty good return. It's Corey O'Mealy down the sideline. He cuts around looking for some blocks, but not bad field position to start things. That's one of the bright spots on the day for them.
Yeah, well, that's not. They got a few opportunities that they'll kick off return, so they're going to maybe get one. We had a lot of new guys on there as well. That sometimes happens in blowout games.
Kyle Stevenson on that run, lowering his shoulder. Here, it's the Reavers batting around, and I thought for sure Oscar Ross was going to get back onto their quarterback, but out of the pile comes Max Weber, and he gets his first touchdown as a Reaver as well, getting some action in this game.
Again, it was good. Like I said, they turned it over. We had an opportunity to get it a couple times before that dent, and Max comes up, so it's again another former teammate that gets for his first Reaver touchdown.
Here goes Simmons on the return this time for Ellsworth, and he gets spinning around, and all the celebration there, that was Danny Hamilton that made that big tackle. 60-6 at the time, and the Reavers continuing to just bring it. What level of player was in right now? You got 5th, 6th string in right now?
Yeah, well, we're getting a lot of guys in. I don't know exactly how many we suited for the game, if there was 88 guys, and just about all of them got in. There's a couple that didn't. Our 4th-string quarterback that wasn't able to get in, but we're getting them in though. They're getting playing time, and the nice thing is that they're playing well. I think that's their offense isn't moving the ball, and we're not necessarily just stalled out either on offense.
Let's talk about a little bit about some of the guys that got in. Kyle Stevenson at the running back. J.D. Kolchak got a chance to run the offense for a little while. You're only an injury or two away from actually having to rely on these guys. What was your assessment of their performance? They come in obviously waiting for the chance to play, and when they finally do get a chance to play, how'd they grade out?
Well, I felt they did well. Obviously we weren't necessarily doing all of our stuff that we normally do, but at the same time, they don't get a lot of reps in practice. We had some receivers and Kyle that don't spend time with the varsity offense during the week, so their time is maybe in meetings or JV or something like that, and then to throw them in there, and they got to know what they're doing. So I was pleased with the way we came out with all of our guys who got to play. 63-6 the final. Let's take a look at the final statistics. Got a couple of guys that totaled up some good yards. Austin White went over 100 yards. Talk about his performance on the day. Yeah, well, I'd tell you what, the game before when we played, I felt, we maybe didn't play our best up front, but we still, we beat them pretty handedly. Where I was really, really excited coming in. I didn't know, because we didn't run the ball very well at times against them last time, for us to put 2 backs over 100 yards and Akis have another good day. I mean, credit to the offensive line and our O-line coaches for putting those guys in position.
Yeah, Keese over the 1,000-yard mark, gets a couple touchdowns as well. He is 1 touchdown shy of the single-season record to tie Aaron Wimberly, and also he could pass him on the rushing yardage as well in these next 2 games that you've got against North Dakota Science and on the road the following week against DuPage. So some records being set this season.
Which is good. I mean, I think the other thing, we're playing some of the, games maybe are a little bit closer in some, so our guys are getting a few more opportunities than some of, last year we pulled some guys out early, but at the same time, I mean, that's still pretty good. When coming in, when we had so many question marks, I think 9 new starters on offense from last year's team and still be able to set some records, I think that says a lot for the group of guys that we have.
Absolutely. Final score of 63-6. When we come back, we'll check in with Aaron Zach. We talked about guys having big games. One of those guys was George Seal, a pair of touchdowns and a pretty good chunk of yardage as well. He'll sit down with the Reaver wide receiver when we return to the Stroh Show. This is Iowa Western's Council Bluffs CBTV 17.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV 17. I'm Aaron Zach, joined by wide receiver Jordan Seal. Thank you for joining us today, Jordan.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. So tell me a little how you came to Iowa Western.
It was after my senior season of football. I didn't know if I was going to play baseball or football, but I just chose football. And I didn't know where I was going to go. But the grades, I didn't have good enough grades to go on to play anywhere else. So JUCO was all I really had. And first school I called was here, Iowa Western. And I was fortunate enough to come.
You've had a lot of success so far. Can I get your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good this season. It's my second year. I redshirted last year. I learned a lot last year. It's been a really fun year, and it's the group of guys I'm playing with they're a really good group of guys.
So being that it was homecoming last week, was there any kind of pressure, more pressure than any other week, or is it just normal work?
It was just normal work with a few activities during the week. Other than that, it was just a regular game.
Now, against the Panthers, you had 4 catches for 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. Can I get your thoughts on that?
I just a couple of plays were a couple of my favorite. We ran a couple of my favorite plays, and was fortunate to get open and caught some balls and scored.
So, as a wide receiver, what kind of route do you like to run? Do you like to run to the outside, to the middle, or what kind of route do you like to do?
The route where I'm most successful on this year has been the post curl.
So what kind of relationship do you have with Connor Brevard and Tate Bender?
We're cool on the field and off the field. I hang out with Connor off the field a little bit, and I'm in some classes with Tay.
What kind of personalities do they have? Because I've talked with Tate, and he's like an all-around kid. I haven't talked to Connor much.
Tay's always had something to say. He's a funny guy, and Connor's can be a little more serious, but they're both good guys.
So what kind of personalities do they have in the huddle, though? That's the difference. That's the story right there.
They're both serious, ready to go, ready to make some plays.
So as a redshirt freshman, how does it feel to start each game?
It's a great opportunity. Yeah, it's a great opportunity.
So what can we expect next out of you?
Hopefully we'll get a win the next 2 games, and hopefully I'll get a few catches.
Win that national title.
Yeah, hopefully we're fortunate enough to get into the national championship.
So what do you think about Coach Stroh so far?
Coach Stroh's a good guy, as the same to the rest of the coaching staff. They all put in a lot of time and effort to what they're doing to makes us successful, and it's been a good year.
So I like to ask each player that I interview this question, how much time do you spend in the edit room figuring out which plays you like and what you don't like?
The film room?
Yeah, the film room.
We usually have a meeting every day for about around a half an hour to 45 minutes watching film.
Well, thank you, George,
Thank
so
you.
much for being here today. I appreciate it.
Thank
I
you
wish
for
you
having
the
me.
best of luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, Jake Ryan sits down with Coach Strohmeyer to talk about this coming Saturday's game. We'll be right back.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control.
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Back to the Reaver Hall of Fame room to wrap up this week's edition of the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV 17. Coach, we're here in the Hall of Fame room because CBTV 17 is getting a radical makeover. So they sent us down the hallway while they install a whole bunch of new equipment to bring you full, I'm not sure what it is, 1080 HP, HD, all the technical mumbo jumbo we'll save for Craig Carlson, the station manager. He can tell you all about it when you get a chance to sit down with Craig. But let's look at the remaining schedule that you've got. Just 2 regular season games. Can you believe the season has gone by this quickly?
It has flown by, and just to look that we got 2 regular season left is amazing. It seems like it's getting cold so soon, but only 2 left. Generally, at the end of the football seasons, it gets a little bit chilly.
Well, the team 8-1 with 2 more victories, you would reach the double-digit win plateau for the 2nd straight year. It's a pretty big mark. If you look at that, how rewarding is that to be a possibility with 2 games left as a head coach?
Well, I think any time you can get into double-digit wins in the game of football, when most teams only play 10 or 12 games, that's a pretty good accomplishment. So, obviously, our goal is to win them all. But when you lose, the next best is get to 10-1. At the 11-game regular season. So, hopefully, we can take care of business. We got a couple more to go, and they're not necessarily going to be easy. But at the same time, we're climbing the ladder step by step after our little setback.
Yeah, number 3 this week, only 5.5 points behind number 2. Obviously, they're going to have to take a tumble, or Georgia Military will have to slip up to get bumped up to the top 1 or 2 spot. But that's got to be incentive as well for the team, knowing that you're that close to being back in it all.
Well, when this all happened, when we ended up losing at Georgia Military, and the questions were, okay, 1 loss, does it knock you out of the title hopes? And I mean, my whole thing, it's a long season, and now we can only take it 1 game at a time. And I'll tell you what, each week somebody ahead of us has gotten beat, and so it should motivate our guys. Now, if we're sitting at 10 or 12 right now, hopefully they're still motivated to get to 10-1 and playing a good bowl game. But it seems like things are falling in place. It's keeping our guys motivated and keeping them striving for something. And we got North Dakota. That's all we can worry about, and hope for the best.
Last week it was Trinity Valley, who you've met in week 1, coming from behind to upset Tyler, and that's why the bump was there this week. So that's good news. You talk about North Dakota State College of Science. They end up on the wrong end of a defensive battle with DuPage last week. The field was sloppy again up in Wahpeton, and the Chaparrals leave with a 12-7 victory. What has changed for Science? The first time you played them, 25-0, but that was a game where you scored at the beginning and you scored at the end, and everything in between was a soaking wet mess.
And I think, to them, they're probably feeling pretty confident, about their performance the first time in those conditions. Now, looking at that field on Saturday is probably worse. It wasn't raining, but I think they got some rain and snow. I mean, guys slopping around. So I'm happy to be on a clear track. I think we didn't get the chance to really showcase anything what we could do against them the first time. They're going to be better as well on good field, but nothing's really changed with what they're going to do from the first time. I don't anticipate they haven't changed much, in all the years that we've played them. So we feel we got a pretty good idea of what they're going to do to us, and now it just comes down to execution and our guys going out there and doing their job.
All right, Coach, best of luck on Saturday. 1 o'clock kickoff between Iowa Western and the North Dakota State College of Science, the Wildcats. Maybe the last time you play them for quite some time. They're joining the Minnesota League next year.
Yeah, it will be. I don't foresee, unless it'd be something down the line in the bowl, but in a bowl game, I guess, of some sort. But the chances are we'll never play them again. And I'm not disappointed that I won't be able to go back up to Wapato, North Dakota. But, like I said, they were in the league for a long time, so you don't like to see teams leave, but at the same time, with us going to Kansas, they had to find something.
Sure. All right, and also being here in the Hall of Fame room today presented us with the opportunity to bring out some old props. We've got the Reaver football helmet, we've got the Reaver football, we've also got the custom sign from Husker Mirrors and more, and we've also got behind us a fundraiser this year for the Reaver football team. It is the quilt that has been made by Marion Brown, the mother of former Reaver Andrew Brown, and it's part of the quarterback club's fundraiser for the year, and basically you can win this at the end of the season.
Exactly. It's beautiful. And we're selling raffle tickets. You can get them from me or even at our last home football game, I guess. I think Coach Ross, Landon Ross, and the softball players will be walking around selling them. And we want to sell as many tickets as we can, but I think we already got the winner picked out. So
that's going to be you, right?
I wish. I would love to have it, but it's good. She spent a lot of time on it. It's all of our T-shirts from all the years that we've had, and something neat to have.
So we're able to use it for a prop today. We hope that you come take a look at it at the final home game of the 2013 season. I can't believe we're already to that point, but it will happen again at Titan Stadium, 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Come out early for the annual Culinary Club's chili cook-off. You can get a sample of like 9 different chilies and a full bowl of your favorite for just $5, and all that money goes to support the Iowa Western Culinary Club on Saturday. Plus, you can watch the game as well if you can't make it out on ihigh.com. All the hardworking students of IWTV will be out making sure that broadcast happens. Again, 12 o'clock pregame on 89.7 The River, 1 o'clock kick on ihigh.com/IWCC and 89.7 The River. We'll talk with you then. Thank you to everybody involved, including wide receiver George Seal and the head coach Scott Strohmeyer. For Aaron Zach, I'm Jake Ryan, and of course all of the IWTV students as well who have set up our mobile shop today. Thanks again for them helping out, and thanks to you for tuning in. We'll talk with you next week, and as always, go Reaver.